Happy Friday, and welcome here to another edition of Husker Online Headlines. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple. We're brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Applebee's. You'll hear more about Applebee's here later in the show. Also, our title sponsor, StayHome.Care. They offer many of the same types of personalized care you might find in a nursing home, right in the comfort of your home. Whether your loved one is young or old or living with a disability, recovering from surgery, or simply just needs extra help from when they're sick, StayHome.Care provides consistent, compassionate support from personal care and companionship to daily tasks like laundry, meal prep, and assistance with appointments or outings. We're here when your loved ones need you and you can't be there. Give them a call at 402-205-2233 or visit their website. That's StayHome.Care, not .com. That's .care because we put our heart into everything we do. Your home, our care, StayHome.Care. Well, it's good. Kind of a quick turn here, Sip.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to be in the studio. You know,
yeah,
we haven't done this for a while.
We had a live show last night. It was always a lot of fun.
100
people out at Zipline last night, so a solid crowd. But yeah, the feel was just a little different just because of a loss.
How so?
Well, coming off a loss, and Robin and I, we kind of came in hot. But we don't want to be all sunshine pump. We were just talking about what's going on.
I understand. Yeah, I think it's sort of a complicated discussion. Actually, that's why there's still a lot of good things on that team. I think the reason why maybe there's some deflation is because they got whipped up front. And Nebraska fans aren't dumb.
No.
And they know that there's ramifications there. But there's also Ja'Cory Barney, and there's also Dane Key, and there's also Isaiah Hunter.
And Dylan Rhule.
And number 15 is going to keep you in a lot of conversations. There's also better special teams. There's also, playmakers in the secondary even. So the way I look at it, Sean, is Nebraska's going to kind of have to keep winning in this sort of unconventional way or less conventional way, where you just don't beat up people up front. You're going to have to, be sort of more, what's the word I'm looking for, Sean? A little creative, I think. That's one word. Finesse. I think there's some finesse. You have to finesse some things out because you're not going to overpower many.
Yeah, nearly 300 rushing yards for Michigan and 36 pressures by their players were produced. I mean, that's humbling.
Yeah, and that's in Nebraska doesn't look like a team that's going to be able to line up offensively and power it down the field, right? Would you call them? I don't know what.
But they can get. The thing is, they can get the ball down the field.
Yeah, but pass first, probably, right? Kind of a pass first offense. Is that what we're talking about?
And if the O-line has trouble protecting, Dylan made some elite throws. So like the way he stepped up and moved around. I mean, he kept probably 5 or 7 big plays that happened alive with just the way he read the pocket.
I love these conversations. I hope you understand that. And sometimes I just want to know what you think. I mean, would you describe Nebraska's pass first, or would you just say their passing's more potent than their running game?
I mean, they are a pass first offense. I mean, like when you only really have one running back, you can't really be a run first offense.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have a running quarterback either, it's hard. I mean, because if you're going to throw it 35, 40 times a game, Emmett Johnson can't carry it 35, 40 times a game.
Right.
So I think we know what they are. They're around 20 carries on the ground from Emmett Johnson, sprinkled in with probably 5 to 7 other carries from other backs.
Yep.
And Dylan Rhule is going to throw the ball, depending on how efficient they are, between 30 and 40 times a game.
Probably closer to 40, like you said, depending on snaps. Now, is that what you envisioned going in?
I thought they'd throw a lot. I did. And we need to get to our first headline here eventually.
That's fine. We're no hurry.
But we're having a good opening banter.
Yeah.
I thought they would throw a lot because I didn't think they had enough at running back to run a lot. And they don't have a QB run game.
See, here's the thing. This is where I always try to think back on what we talked about. I thought the running back room was better equipped than I'm not convinced they only have one running back, but I hope. I mean, they
just aren't going to have a lot of opportunity to test drive much. Akron and Houston were kind of test drive games.
Not now. Yeah, now you don't have
now.
that.
You can't salvage reps just for the hell of it. I mean,
no, and that's why Rhule went to his offensive staff this week, Monday, and said, I need you guys to show me the number 2. I need a number 2. I need an answer. Who's our number 2 running back? Who's our number 2 running back? Now, you would say, and I would maybe say, why didn't you have that worked out? Why is it week 4, that we're doing this? But, I mean, the answer might be because the non-conference is kind of like preseason, right? Now we're in season.
And then you open with a big game like Cincinnati to start, so it doesn't really allow you to tinker with things. But
not that game.
All right, well, let's get into the headlines. We got a full show here on tap, again, presented by Applebee's and our title sponsor, StayHome.Care. But headline number 1, it's the bye week. Who are our early season MVPs and our top newcomers? All right, early season MVP on offense. Take out Dylan Rhule.
Oh, okay.
I think he's our automatic offensive MVP. If you had to go with anyone else besides Dylan Rhule, who would you go with?
I'd go with Ja'Cory Barney.
I think that's a good one. I mean, I think the only other, I'm just trying to think if there's
because of
Emmett's value is pretty big, but the second half of Michigan kind of like
the 5 carries 10 yards.
Correct.
5 carries 10 yards. Emmett's really valuable, but I don't. Yeah, no, I can't do that.
Luke Lindenmeyer would be like your surprise player.
Yeah, Lindenmeyer's been very good, with one exception, with one drop ball, and Dana Holgerson said he's never even seen him drop a ball. That's why it made such a big impression.
Now, defensive MVP, I think, is a little bit more. I mean, you can go a lot of ways.
You go first this time.
Gosh, I still
have a clear answer.
I think Vincent Shavers.
I would go Singleton.
And Singleton are the two. Yeah, Singleton and Shavers still, to me, some of the impact plays that Shavers has made. I mean, the hit in Cincinnati. We forget. It seemed like a year ago, but that hit in the Cincinnati game
changed
the game.
Yeah, changed it. He's made a couple other big hits. I just think when I think of value, Singleton is so valuable across the board. He makes so many plays where we're up in the press box, and we're like, Singleton again. There's Singleton. I believe that Singleton's the clear-cut guy, in part because he's a veteran now. He's more reliable than Shavers. Shavers is still a little unreliable as a sophomore. Singleton is very reliable. I think he's the key to that defense, to Sean Singleton.
And then I think you can make an argument for McCullough.
Yep.
He's been very valuable.
Can't say most valuable after he misses a tackle of that magnitude against Michigan, though.
No. So
he's got to make that tackle. If he makes that tackle, you know the one I'm talking about late, then you are. I'm not going to say he'd challenge Singleton, but he'd be second or third.
My surprise player would be Cade Pedshock. I just didn't know like what he'd bring because he wasn't here early.
Nope. He wasn't here in the spring.
And it's really hard for a high school player, especially one that doesn't come from like a hotbed of football. North Dakota doesn't really develop and put out a lot of day one ready high school seniors that are going to be freshmen in college.
It was the Akron game where he played one snap literally against Cincinnati. And then against Akron, we were like, oh my God. Then he had the tackle in the end zone for the safety. And you saw his explosion. Oh, Pedshock's my surprise on defense for sure. We didn't see that. I hate to admit it, but we didn't really see that coming.
Yeah, and I will say, Rhule did kind of, say like, they like him, but they kept it pretty quiet. Like they didn't, that he was going to be. It wasn't like they let everybody know, and that's how you should. I don't think you want to put pressure on freshmen.
No.
So Cade Pedshock. Any other superlatives you want to go with here from the first?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense to me to praise some guys because there's so much negativity this week. For sure, Archie Wilson's been good, the punter. He's been about as advertised, really. He was excellent against Cincinnati and excellent against Michigan. Didn't have to do anything against the bad teams. But I'd say against Michigan, he was really good, right?
Yeah, Archie Wilson, is a weapon. I mean, him holding the ball for an extra second or two makes all the difference with getting your gunners down there.
Exactly.
And teams don't know how to defend that because he can go left or right.
Mhm.
And it's really hard. And it looks like he's going to go right, then he'll roll left and he'll punt the ball. And if one of those balls hits the ground, it's trouble.
Yeah, it is. But he does hit the ball well too. I mean, he hits it. So that's good. In terms of other guys who have played well, I think the interior of the offensive line's been generally okay.
Evans has been a good replacement at center.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see a little more tenacity there, but he's good. They weren't bad against Michigan, those interior offensive linemen. I thought they held up all right. God, you just need some more guys to step up. You mentioned Lindenmeyer, he stepped up. Quinn Clark had a moment. Cortez Mills had a moment. I think you have said this, and I agree. The top 3 receivers are pretty defined, though.
Yeah, I'd say the gap. I mean, even from whoever your third receiver was of that top 3 to Mills, it's still a pretty good gap.
Pretty good gap. I don't think we saw that necessarily in camp, but coming out of camp, now you see that. Carter Nelson, Matt Rhule mentioned him the other day, is a guy that got to get going. It's kind of odd, that conversation to me. I don't fully understand it. I think the playbook can be an issue, but and let's face it, he had double labrum hip surgery. So it's taken a while to get exactly right.
And you go back to Mills, so I want to, he's the fourth.
Go back to Cortez Mills,
as the fourth receiver. You think about it like this: that's your fourth receiver. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, they're good at receiving.
You think about year one. I mean, your top receivers from Matt Rhule in year one were Billy Kemp, John Bullock, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda.
Right. Let's butt heads for a second, though. I'm not convinced he's number 4. I think couldn't you say Quinn Clark's number 4? Is it pretty close there?
They're different.
Yeah, they're different.
I mean, I think Mills can do a lot more things in the, they're just different built, different speed type guys. But yeah, no, I mean, today though, I think Cortez Mills is probably still 4th.
Okay. Keelan Smith's another guy.
He's probably the 6th guy.
Yeah.
Well, Mosey would be the 6th guy because he plays both.
See, then it's interesting because what is Mosey? Is he a running back or are you counting him as a receiver?
Well, he's kind of what he was in high school. He played both.
Yep.
All right. Well, good discussion here. Again, we're brought to you by our title sponsor, StayHome.Com, but also our presenting sponsor, Applebee's. And look, Sip, there's some great football on this weekend. We've got you covered at Applebee's. You want to get the ultimate trio. It's perfect for your game day party. You're the play caller. You get 3 apps, 3 sauces. Your ultimate trio is just $14.99 with over 80,000 combinations. Applebee's has something for everyone that you'll enjoy. Plus, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, you'll get half-price appetizers. And every day from 9 to close, you'll also get half-price appetizers for their late-night happy hour. Wings, mozzarella sticks, pretzels, you name it, all half off. Perfect for your game day. And I know you're watching a lot of football, Sip. How good would it be to go into Applebee's and get 6 free boneless wings?
It'd be really good. I mean, people are going to be watching football all day tomorrow, but you can slip into Applebee's. I'll have football on. It's actually a pretty good place to watch games. Just slip in and have a quick meal.
6 free boneless wings. And
yeah.
Again, I've kind of hammered your paycheck here. We keep deducting these free wings off your check. So
it's a little stressful, but that's fine.
But if you spend $10 at Applebee's, you'll get 6 free boneless wings. That's Applebee's in Lincoln, North Platte, Scottsbluff, Kearney, Sidney, Grand Island, New York, and Columbus.
God, they kill you. They kill you with this ad, Sean.
You need to say Huskers. So you go into Applebee's in those markets, say Huskers. You'll spend $10. You'll get 6 free wings on Steve Sipple.
So you just say Huskers. You don't have to say HuskerOnline or anything.
Yeah,
like
just say Huskers. Yeah.
Wow, Huskers. But ads are effective, and that's a good one. I'm watching those wings.
I mean, they're giving you 6 free wings.
It's a good deal.
That's a hell of a deal.
Oh, yeah. For me, at my age, that's almost a meal. Put some celery with it.
You got to spend $10, but you'll get French fries and a beer or whatever you get with your wings.
Oh, I'm not suggesting that you do that, but I'm just saying as an older gentleman, I could almost make that work.
Make that be your lighter dinner.
Mm-hmm.
All right, headline number 2. What is your biggest concern through 4 games? And I think we've kind of
you go first.
Towed on this at the beginning of the show, but I mean, it's obviously up front on both sides, but I'm worried about the pass rush and dealing with mobile quarterbacks and just, creating a 4-man pass rush. We just haven't seen Nebraska get a lot of heat with 4.
What is your biggest concern? You mentioned 2 or 3 there. What's your biggest?
The pass rush.
Oh, defending the pass rush.
Yeah.
Is it generating a pass rush?
Generating a pass rush, yeah.
Oh, generating a pass rush.
I just think it hasn't been consistent enough.
Okay.
That could to get off the field on key third downs.
I don't disagree at all. Unfortunately, what we're talking about are concerns that are all line related, right? They're all trenches related. My biggest concern remains run defense. God, this is hard. This is what this is a big challenge for this coaching staff. Every team in America is working around vulnerabilities. Every team. There's vulnerabilities. Everybody has them. I mean, is there any dominant team that you'd say they don't have any vulnerabilities?
Danny Buss from Kelly in volleyball is like, hold my beer. We're good.
Yeah, she's a little different. Their situation's a little different. Nebraska, they have a challenge though working around vulnerabilities up front. But I would say more on the defensive side, right? That the pass rush that Michigan generated, I don't think you anticipated that, nor did I.
No, and
remember you think about the press box when we're sitting up there. I always do this. Think about, and the games are so important because they tell you so much, and we're sitting up there watching every single play. You don't miss a play. And that first drive, we were like, what is going on the edges, right? We're like, what? They're not blocking.
Well, in the first time or two, you're kind of like, oh, maybe this is kind of a one-time thing. And you're like, oh, it's not.
No, by the second series, it was pretty clear.
The way they lined up, it's untraditional to line up in what they called the wide 9, where they were completely outside shade of the tackle.
Speed to power.
Just coming off like dragsters.
Speed to power. They weren't doing anything crazy. They're just speed to power.
You know what it reminded me of back when Nebraska played South Carolina in the 2011 season when they played Javion Clowney and Mel Ingram?
Yeah, Ingram.
And that duo were the edge rushers. And Tim Beck's comment was they came out there with a couple of drag cars.
Right.
And that's what Michigan did. They just came off the edge like drag cars. And Dylan was able to step up on those, but they caused enough disruption to really create issues.
Right. And we didn't necessarily see that. Everybody knew that the defensive line, I mean, we talked about it so much, it gets ridiculous. But there it is. It's an issue. So now you're in this week by week wrestling match, basically. And you're trying to get to that 9-win type season, and it can be done. But there's a lot in that conversation, which is good for us. I mean, it is. It's good. It's good because I do believe there's got to be some finesse involved. Number 15 has got to be good every week. I think priority number 1, if I were on the staff, would be we got to make sure we're protecting him. We got to figure the protection out quick. We got to make sure that 15 can operate because as you established earlier, Nebraska is not going to line up and overpower teams on the ground. They're not going to do that.
Well, and the Penn State one's the one that worries you, especially if that's a night game, how loud that will be. Because that is one thing. This offensive line won't face a lot of noise all year.
Nope.
They're at home a lot.
Right.
And then
in Maryland,
Minnesota, UCLA aren't going to be loud venues.
No, especially Minnesota, especially UCLA. And who's the other one? Oh,
Maryland, Minnesota.
Maryland, UCLA, they'll be.
Now, Minnesota's a Friday night game.
That'll be noise.
And they'll have students there.
Yeah, there'll be noise.
So that will be loud, but that's the second loudest game. Penn State will be
super loud.
Its own animal.
Yeah.
To deal.
I wouldn't even, if I were a Nebraska fan, I wouldn't even think about the Penn State game right now. I just don't think about it. Just hope your team evolves in a positive direction going toward that game. That's what teams do. I said that on our show last night at Zipline. The good news is teams do evolve and get better. This doesn't have to be a conversation every week. It doesn't.
No. And I'm sure internally they're pretty motivated over there. I mean, the noise has been pretty loud.
I'm sure I would hope so.
There are a lot, and we talk to a lot of people that are in the industry that aren't tied in Nebraska that might know the situation here. And I think a lot of guys I've talked to are almost freaked out by how, panicky it's gotten already.
Panicky, it's a little bit, but Matt Rhule on McAfee did say, look, it was a missed opportunity against Michigan. They had a freshman quarterback come in here. We have Michigan in Lincoln with a freshman quarterback. So two things can be true at once, as he said. You can miss an opportunity, yet show that you're making progress.
And you get Michigan and Lincoln back to back. Nebraska has not had to go out to the big house in a while.
Right.
Right.
Good point.
Well, because if you remember the 2012 game in Lincoln with Denard Robinson,
okay,
where you got hurt.
Yeah.
Until Rhule, that was Michigan's last trip in Lincoln until 2023.
Yep.
Oh no, they played here 2021. Excuse me. So they went 2012 to 2021, where they didn't come to Lincoln at all.
Right. It's weird. It's a weird Big Ten
and then
schedule.
Nebraska was able to they gave them one back, like where they got Michigan here twice in a row. I mean, that's an opportunity that you don't get back, where the Wolverines come in here and it's early in the year, weather's good.
Right. You had a golden opportunity. It's not like Nebraska collapsed. I mean, they fought to the end. Oh, that's one thing you should mention. And if you're out there and you're looking for things positive, I said it. We said it in the press box. I said it to you a couple of times. Nebraska's not going away. They didn't go away in that game. They kept coming. I mean, they kept coming. You thought in the second quarter, the game could get away from Nebraska, right? It could get to 17-0. Then in the third quarter, you kind of thought the same thing. Oh, this is getting away from them. Never fully got away.
No, and a 17-point lead against a team like Michigan is a huge lead. The style they play.
Yeah. But Nebraska didn't let the game get away from them completely.
All right. Well, let's keep it moving again. We're brought to you by our title sponsor of StayHome.Care. Call them at 402-205-2233 to learn more about what they can do for you, your family, your loved ones. We're also brought to you by Harry's, and both Sip and I got our Harry's pack in the mail.
Yeah.
Phenomenal products, not just razors, but shaving creams, face balms, lotions, all great products at Harry's. But their razors are phenomenal. And the key is they don't break the bank. I mean, you can go and spend, you can go spend $50, $60 on a pack of razors, a big pack. And Harry's has mastered making that quality of razor at a much more affordable price, a razor that's going to last and hold up over time. And we want to get you connected with Harry's. Our listeners will get a Harry's trial set for only $8 plus a free gift. Just go to harrys.com/Husker. Again, that's harrys.com/Husker. Check it out, and you'll get the you'll get everything linked in here with Harry's and Husker Online. Again, that's harrys.com/Husker to take full advantage of this, the promo code Husker, and you'll get the starter kit, which we both got in the mail as well.
Yeah, we got it in the mail. You use the balm, right?
I love the balm.
That's how you keep your skin. You look like a movie star, Sean.
God, no. Well, thanks to Harry's for... you don't strike me as a balm guy.
I might be.
You are. Well, you're on Mando. All right. Well, thanks to Harry's for sponsoring us here on HuskerOnline Headlines. Okay, let's go to headline number 3. Matt Rhule and the Husker coaches are on the road recruiting. They were in Texas last night. Matt Rhule was with Keith Williams. He was in Midland, Texas, the Midland League game. They hosted a Louisiana team that had Ahmad Hudson, a tight end from Ruston, Louisiana, I believe.
So Ruston went all the way to Midland.
Yeah, and Munson and I were talking about that. That was pretty remarkable that they were.
It's a hell of a road trip. And they had Ahmad. So Hudson is a guy that some Nebraska fans might remember. He was at the Boneyard Bash.
He dunked over the goalpost. And
oh, Sean, he's a no-doubter. That kid right there is a no-doubter.
And Fred Hoiberg's recruiting him for basketball.
Yeah. I don't know about if he's a basketball no-doubter or not, because I haven't seen him play, but I've seen him play football. He is a 100% no-doubter.
So for Nebraska, it's strategy. What do you do with Matt Rhule? He can only be out a few days, and you only want him to see, you can only see a couple prospects that are high value. Clearly, Ahmad Hudson is one of those guys. I mean,
high value. Look at the teams recruiting him. I mean, half the SEC is recruiting him, right?
He's the number one player in Louisiana.
Now, see the challenge? You know how hard it is to get that kid from LSU? Do you know how hard that? I work with a guy every day, Bill Bush, who recruited for LSU. They are basically instructed by the university system. You don't let guys like that get out of the state of Louisiana. It would be a supreme win for anybody to get him out of Louisiana.
He's the number one. Get this. He's the number one basketball prospect in Louisiana and the number one football prospect.
You watched him. What'd you think?
He was special. And, it's going to be kind of fitting. Rhule will go out and see Trey Taylor, I believe, as well. Nebraska's quarterback commit. Those were the two that really hit it off and played well together in the Boneyard Bash.
Trey Taylor really critical in this discussion, right?
Yeah, Trey Taylor, the quarterback out of Chicago. The other guy I believe Rhule's going to go out and see is in Pierre, South Dakota. Cooper Terwilliger, the tight end. And he's
we've seen him too.
He's a national top 100 level tight end out of South Dakota.
Didn't we see him on a Sunday in June one time?
A couple years ago, yeah, he was at the Nebraska camp.
A couple years ago, and you saw a kid off in the distance and thought, "Who? What's that?"
Oh, we knew who he was.
Oh, did you know who he was?
They had already offered him at that point.
I didn't know who he was.
He's from the same high school as Jason Machachok.
Okay, tight end. I want to see you tell me that they're looking at some D line and maybe an offensive line.
Well, they are.
Okay. Yeah.
But these are the priority guys: Cooper Terwilliger, Trey Taylor, Ahmad Hudson. That we know Matt Rhule's probably going to go out and see this weekend.
Yeah, and the 2027 class is off to a great start.
Yeah, they've got a number of commits. They've had great visits come in, and I know they lost the game, but recruits don't just look at the result of one game to make their decision. They look at the day. Nebraska lost by 3. It was an unbelievable setting, scene, day. Mm-hmm. And again, NIL and rev share is a big part of it now too. Yeah. Let's not kid ourselves.
No. I got you. God dang. When you think about it, you think about Hudson, what that would command. I'd say it's whatever you have to do is worth it.
Oh, a lot of money. I mean, probably the highest paid tight end in his cycle.
It's a lot.
I mean, he would be.
But you saw it. See, the thing is, I know some people get annoyed by these conversations, whatever. I saw it, and the kid he could go in about anywhere right now and play, right?
Oh yeah, he'd play right now.
Right now. So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough, I think, for Nebraska.
Of course, it will.
Steve Wilfong just put a prediction in for Nebraska. Jabari Watkins, a 2027 wide receiver.
Okay.
4-star recruit out of Georgia, Thomasville County Central High School, has now an RPM pick to Nebraska by On3's Steve Wilfong.
4-star kid from Georgia.
Rivals Steve Wilfong.
4-star kid from Georgia.
Correct.
4-star. I don't care what position he's playing. He's good. I mean,
4-star wide receiver, ranked 37th in the state of Georgia. But
good, 6'2". Good. You need those guys, Sean.
So let me hold on. I want to see if he came. I believe he must have been here this weekend. I don't know why else it would have led to a RPM pick, but yeah, there are so many recruits that came in this weekend. But yeah, Nebraska.
Hey, that class of 2027: Trey Taylor, Erickson, the kid from Central, Pittman, and now this. Is that what we're talking about?
Jabari Watkins, yeah, he'd be 2027. Well, I mean, they're still going to take a few more guys. In fact, Jabari Watkins was not here, so this would be kind of an out-of-the-box take here, commit.
Do you see what I'm saying, though, about this class of 2027? It's off to an amazingly good start, right?
And the key is the quarterback. You have the quarterback committed, a big-name one.
Well, I like, too, that they got a lineman in there already.
They never got this with Dylan Raiola's recruitment.
Right.
Because, he committed
December.
So late.
Yeah, December. Wow.
All right. Well, again, Nebraska in line to get appears to be now another commit, and Jabari Watkins, according to Rivals and On3's Steve Wilfong. But all right, before we take it to headline 4, again, we're brought to you by StayHome.Care. Call them at 402-205-2233 to learn more about what they can do for you, your family, your loved ones We're also brought to you by BRUNT and BRUNT Workwear. It's a great weekend to get out and do some work. Put on those BRUNT boots, get some yard work done, get some cleanup work done in the yard. But yeah, BRUNT makes phenomenal products. Sip and I both have the boots. Sip has some shirts, and it's not just boots. It's high-end jackets, shirts, hats, but the boots are their bread and butter. And we both got a pair of the BRUNT boots. And I mean, these are boots that will last you 20 years.
Yeah, and I'll start wearing them more in the fall when it gets a little colder. But if you're a worker, you know, you do hard labor, these things are comfortable. I mean, I could see why they'd be popular.
So
I like those kind of
the ones that look like cowboy boots.
Yeah, I love those. The vast, yeah, those.
I could see you rolling in those.
Wait a second now. The vast binder welted comp toe. I do like those.
Yeah, you wouldn't be a hard toe, would you?
No. I like those. I'm serious.
You get them waterproof or non-waterproof?
I get them waterproofed.
Well,
and wear those in the winter a lot. God dang, Sean. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you to BRUNT, and we got to deal with BRUNT. Go to bruntworkwear.com/Husker. Again, that's bruntworkwear.com/Husker. Use the promo code Husker, and you'll get $10 off your order of BRUNT workwear. Thanks again to BRUNT for sponsoring us here on the Husker Online Headline Show. Okay, let's take it to 4. Kind of a fun bye-week question here. If you could attend one game this weekend, what game would it be?
You go first.
I'm going to go to the whiteout. I think Penn State, Oregon in Happy Valley, the whiteout stage on NBC.
Would you go up to Happy Valley and put yourself through all that?
Yeah, because first of all, if I'm going to do it my way, I'm going to do it my way. We're going to stay in Happy Valley and have fun. You're not going to just drive 4 hours in and out.
That's a monster game. It's a monster. Like, think about, I'm just going to say it, Sean. There's a lot of pressure on James Franklin. A lot. I think the record again, well, I saw it this morning, against the top 6 in his career, he's like 2-20 against top 6 AP teams. His record against good teams, top 10 teams, is bad. He's got to think about James Franklin, Sean. He's got a consensus top 5 team, and there's a lot of pressure on him to win this game.
Well, this is one that they won a year ago, right? In the Big Ten title, or they lost to Oregon, in the Big Ten title game.
Yeah.
Oregon had their number last year. But yeah, I still don't think we know a ton about Penn State with how good they are yet.
They haven't played anybody.
They have been really pushed.
No. Oregon, I think, was mildly disappointing against Northwestern. They, of course, rocked Oklahoma State, contributed mightily to Gundy getting fired, 69-3.
I'm telling you, though, you go into these Big Ten venues like Illinois or Northwestern at 11 a.m. and you're
sleepy.
You're the West Coast team.
Okay, which brings me to the game. The second game, my number 2 on my list, I won't give you number 1 yet. Number 2 was USC Illinois. I'd love to go. I would love to go make that trek to Champaign for that sleepy 11 a.m. kickoff and see what it's like.
Remember the days of the newspaper when you worked there, like on a bye week, you'd send like writers out to a game like that.
That's funny. God bless you yes, we consider that. And
you'd get like an advanced look at an opponent.
Right.
Well, I mean, the World Herald are friends and colleagues. Like they did that for years.
Lee Barfneck.
They would send a writer to every Iowa game.
Right. They did. That's right. Back in the day.
Better times.
Yeah, better times, as we like to say.
But yeah, they would like literally send a writer, Lee Barfneck, to the Big Ten game of the week every week.
Yeah. If I had a little more chutzpah, I would just, Sean, I'd say, Sean, well, you wouldn't even mind if I did it tomorrow. I don't really have any duties tomorrow. I could have driven to Champaign.
Remember I contemplated to send you to Boulder for that North Dakota State opener.
Yeah. You don't get as much out of it nowadays because
it's all controlled.
Yeah. That, and I don't know, every game's on TV. I think you're talking about a time too. Probably have to go back a little further when every game wasn't on TV and there wasn't social media and you couldn't see replays and all of that.
The access is very much like a controlled hunting trip.
It is.
I mean, they're like, all right, here's where you can shoot right there. And you're not able to flank around and do your own stuff.
Nope. You're right. That's a good point.
I mean, the sad thing is the best flanking around you do is talking to other media people.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot of things from or pregame on the sidelines. You talk to people at games and like get a lot of things, but in terms of the access, it's very controlled everywhere.
Okay, now I'm going to go back to USC Illinois. Then I'm going to give you the game I would go to. Now, the most interesting thing that I would watch that USC Illinois would be this. Well, Jerry DiNardo told me yesterday that Illinois isn't great up front on offense. USC has an offensive line. Athletic, pullers, they run counter. Pretty much Lincoln Riley's passing game is running game based off counter and passing game based off counter. I mean, Lincoln Riley has a really athletic offensive line. Not as good up front defensively, but good offensive line. The game I would go to, number one on my list, no matter what, is Indiana, Iowa. Because I want to see if Indiana's real.
What about Georgia, Alabama? How fun would that be?
I'm thinking Big Ten.
Oh, just only Big Ten. But how fun would it be to get a go to a big SEC game?
Well, it would be fun, but I like the idea of driving to Iowa City. I'm just trying to keep this a real conversation.
You want to
go? Kind of. I mean, I don't know what kind of how hard it'd be to get a ticket. Wouldn't it be easier to get a ticket in Champaign right now than Iowa?
Yes.
Okay. What you want to see from Indiana, Signetti's doing this right. He's building up front. And he has said, he has said something so critical. He says, if you want to be a big boy program in this league, you better be good up front. And he's trying hard to make them very good up front.
Can you imagine the looks we'd get, you and I being in Iowa City together?
I don't know that a lot of people would recognize it.
Well, if they did, they're like, what are these guys like?
You guys doing
half-ass Connor Stallions up here?
You're more recognizable than me. I can put a hat on and be pretty unrecognizable.
At the Iowa game last year, we had to leave the field, remember, because we couldn't be down. Like, I guess you have different so we had to, and I walked by Iowa fans yelling at us, and a guy got on my Twitter and DM'd me and called me an effing piece of what. And like,
I did not know this. Really?
Because I keep my DMs open.
Yeah.
But yeah, Iowa fans are.
He did. Wow. Yeah, it gets a little rough.
Oh yeah, it's a rivalry.
Yeah, I'd like to go see Indiana, Iowa. And now what I would say is if Indiana wins that game by 1 point, I'm going to say they're real.
Then Indiana has to turn around with a bye, though, to play Oregon.
Jeez. At Oregon?
Signetti on the road at Oregon.
So
if they get through this stretch here, then it's Michigan State, UCLA, Maryland, then Penn State, Wisconsin, Purdue.
That's a ridiculously hard schedule.
But their back six is manageable.
They'll
be favored in their back six, but they have to go on the road to Penn State and Oregon and Iowa.
That's ridiculous. That might take them out, unfortunately.
All right. Well, should be a good weekend of football for everybody. And again, thanks. Before we get to headline 5, we're brought to you by our title sponsor of StayHome.Care. Call them, learn more about what they can do for you at 402-205-2233. They're there for you, your loved ones, when you can't be there. And we're also brought to you by Gametime. And we talked about all these great games, Steve Sipple, and getting tickets. I got the place to go.
Where?
Go to the website, Gametime. Download the app for Gametime.
Okay.
They are the premier ticket website to get you not only the best seats, the best deals.
I bet it's easy too.
And what I like about their website is like you pick the seat you want on there, and it shows you the vantage point and the view that you're going to get from your seat.
Wow.
So when you click on it, it will say this is your peripheral view of what seat you're buying is.
That's good.
And they also put the fees in there. Like, so there's nothing is more of a gut punch. So when you buy tickets to an event and you think what the price is, and then the fees get added after the fact. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Well, Gametime has the fees added in there, or you can have the settings so you know what the fees are.
Good idea.
There's no surprise with Gametime. But yeah, phenomenal website and service with Gametime. We've got a deal with On3. Use the promo code ON3 and you'll get $20 off your order at Gametime. Thank you again to Gametime for sponsoring us here on Husker Online Headlines. But all right, odds and ends. And obviously a sad note here. I want to get to this first, but a guy that we've known, both of us, for over 20 years passed away on Thursday. Matt Vrzal, former Husker offensive lineman, and he touched a lot of different groups of people. When you think about Verz, when I was in college, I got to know Verz because of the restaurants and the bars he owned. I mean, he was one of the owners of Lazari's Pizza, the downtown, and the bar, and those were like the main spots. So you always saw Verz and talked to Verz, and then later on in the media world, he started doing a lot of shows and doing things, and we got to know him as a media member. And he worked with me on Nebraska Public Media, did the high school football finals with us every year as the Class A color analyst a lot of years. But then he coached for a number of years at Scott. Was an offensive line coach for Matt Turman there. Just a tough piece of news to hear a guy that we've obviously known for so long, that's done a lot for a lot of people, pass away.
Yeah, our hearts go out to his family. Vrzal, I did a lot of radio with Vrzal. It's not in recent years, but I'm gonna say 10 years ago. Did that midday show in Omaha with him. I'd say at least a half dozen times. Vrzal, I should mention, was a guy that helped me a lot. As a columnist at the Journal-Star, there was a period of years where he was one of the guys I'd call for advice when I was about to write something like, am I on the right track here? I think a lot of writers have that sort of, for me, there's always a cadre of about 5 or 6 guys that I'd always kind of have just to help me along, kind of give me some perspective. If I had some questions, not necessarily use them, Sean, I'm not talking about guys I quote, just guys I could kind of consult. That's the best way to put it. Vrzal was like a consultant for me for, I'd say, a half dozen years.
Well, and the thing about Verz was he didn't sugarcoat.
No, that's why I liked him. Yeah.
He was very blunt, and he wasn't afraid to say what he wanted to say. I mean, he was the only person when Scott Frost was hired that questioned if it would work.
He did.
And that took guts.
Oh, yeah, it really did.
There was nobody at that point but he just had his questions. Like, there are things that he needed to see, that he had to believe that this would work.
He was a leading voice in that conversation.
And that's hard to be, the non-popular opinion voice. But that was Verz. He was very, very sure. I mean, he was not afraid to share his opinions and thoughts on topics, and was a great analyst on the high school football games. Just did a lot of great things.
Well, the one thing I'd say about him, all this stuff is coming to my mind as we talk. Think about it. You're smart. He did that 4-hour midday show in Omaha, radio show alone.
Was he? And it was like a fill-in deal, wasn't it?
Right. He wasn't trained in radio necessarily, but they trusted him. Dave Tepper ran that show. And Tepper's a great guy, by the way. I did work. Tepper has helped my career immeasurably, and he trusted Vrzal to do that 4-hour Omaha show. You know how hard that is to do solo? 4 hours solo.
Not easy.
No. Verz, see, what it tells you is that Verz was very confident. That's probably the main thing. He's confident and knowledgeable,
I just saw Verz Friday too. That's the hardest thing about this. Like, I've told you Friday, we had our fraternity reunion and the 95 reunion was going on at the Brass Rail.
Yeah.
And he was in there, and our thing went till 9, and I was leaving and ran right into him and his brother-in-law, Ben Butenbach, and his sister, and they were all there just enjoying each other and reminiscing, obviously, on 95. And it's just tough to hear. I mean, tough to see, because 51 years old.
51. R.I.P.
So our thoughts and prayers to Matt Vrzal's family, guy that's done a lot for a lot of people. All right, let's keep odds and ends moving forward here. How about the situation at Wisconsin and Barry Alvarez? And we both talked about it a little bit in our tunnel talk. And we had one user kind of question, like, why? And like, well, there's interest in this Wisconsin thing. A, it's kind of a rival for Nebraska. B, there's a Nebraska angle to it, because not only did Barry Alvarez, a Husker, build their program, what's going on there right now reminds us what we went through here back in 04 to 07.
It's very similar. I'm always interested that people say that, like, they don't care. You don't care what's going on.
It's usually there's one guy on our board. I am for you always. He's just very opinionated, and
Don't care about the rest of the Big Ten.
No, but in this situation, it is interesting to me because there's such a Nebraska flavor with Wisconsin, and
because they went away from who they are. That's what you're getting at, right? Wisconsin went away. They hired an AD who made a conscious effort to go away from what made them Wisconsin.
They went away. They went from wearing Wranglers to now skinny jeans.
Yeah, they did, basically. And it's not working at all. It's not working. Exacerbated by the fact that the schedule is ridiculously hard.
And Luke Fickell has the 2021 Scott Frost schedule.
Yeah.
And that Scott Frost schedule in 2021, I believe 8 of the opponents won 9 or more games.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what Luke Fickell has.
Yeah, probably.
Like
there it is. Thank you, Megan.
Alabama.
Okay, where are they right now?
So they've lost 2 in a row, but then now they have Michigan.
Okay, so look at the schedule now. Now, Sean, just talking about Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon, Washington on the uptick, Indiana playing as well as it's ever played in its program history, Illinois, Minnesota arch rival who whipped them in Camp Randall last year. Minnesota whipped them. We watched that game in Iowa City. Remember that?
That Illinois game, do you think Brett Bielema would nothing more than to go into Camp Randall and twist the knife and
put the nail in them?
So
it's an away game at Michigan, away at Oregon. Oh my God, that's hard to watch. That's hard to look at, actually.
Well, it reminds me of the 2021 Nebraska schedule. That year, Nebraska played Oklahoma, and that's like the Alabama game for them. That year, Nebraska played Michigan State, who won the Peach Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They played Michigan. They played Ohio State that year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they played everybody on that schedule. Everybody. Minnesota was good that year. Iowa was good that year. Wisconsin was good that year.
There's things that are informative in these conversations that I want to drive home. You know this, but always remember this. Okay, so Wisconsin doesn't have its starting quarterback. They haven't had Billy Edwards because he's hurt. Tried to play him one series last week. Always remember this. Nobody cares. We learned that during the Pelini era. They were down to 3, Kellogg. And I always kind of thought, won't people give Pelini some grace? No, they don't give you any grace.
Bo won back-to-back games with essentially Ron Kellogg at Penn State and Michigan. Now Tommy Armstrong played in those games too, but Kellogg played a lot too in those games. They almost like split the deal. Back-to-back road games.
Yeah, now people are going to try to diminish it. They will. You always hear, Penn State, Michigan weren't that good. They're still Penn State, Michigan.
There were still over 100,000 people in each stadium.
Right. But always remember, coaches don't get any grace for backup quarterbacks. I don't think at any level of football they do.
The other angle of Wisconsin are the former players.
Oh, God, yes.
I mean,
it's just like here, right?
The former players are not happy.
No, they're weighing in. And then Alvarez weighed in and got on the fans.
And I'm telling you, the guy that's going to get the momentum to get the job if it doesn't work with Fickell is Jason Eck, the New Mexico head coach.
Do you think Leonard's out, Jim Leonard?
Yeah, because I think Jason Eck is an offensive guy. He's a lineman.
Played for Wisconsin.
And he's considered one of the best play callers in the game.
Mm-hmm. Does he have to win a little more at New Mexico?
He has 1 year there enough, or does he need 2 years?
Yeah. Well, what if New Mexico finishes 5-7? Is he hireable?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to be better than 5-7. I mean,
I do too. That's him right there.
I mean, they played Michigan tough, and then they beat UCLA. That's Jason. He's a former Rose Bowl starter on the offensive line.
You are all in on him.
Because I know him. I know the guy, and he fits exactly. I mean, for the sake of Nebraska, you don't want this guy there because he'll get them back to what they were.
Oh, wow. I love it.
So
I wish it was college football season all year round.
All right, we'll see what happens in Wisconsin. And finally, a little Michigan State chatter. Sparty's off this weekend. Mm-hmm. They took a road loss at USC, but they put up some points. They put up some yards. They got that win over Boston College, and I believe it was triple overtime.
Yeah. Well, we don't know a lot about him right now, but we do know Aiden Childs, and you have remarked that he's a running quarterback. He can get out. Whole Bill Bush on my show feels like Childs is better than Underwood, which is saying a mouthful to me.
I don't know if I agree with that. I'm just being honest.
Older, big, strong kid. Their defense has struggled mightily, though. But I'm expecting, for the record, a very tough game at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, looking at their PFF grades, their highest graded players are on the offensive line. Their center, Mark Golban, is their highest graded overall player. And then they have a tight end who's also highly graded on their roster. And then an offensive tackle. So they will come in with a formidable unit up front. Defensively, they have produced 49 pressures. A couple guys have 2 sacks. So they only have 4 sacks on PFF on the year. So
they haven't been great defensively.
They're not that's a good matchup. Just looking at that on the cuff right now, you're not going to, I don't know if they're going to get after Dylan Rhule at a high level. They shouldn't.
We'll be watching.
I don't want to jinx that, but their leading pressure player is Isaiah Moa, and he's got 8 pressures.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
So
I just think, again, as we close this show, you're just going to be wrestling every week. I guess it's going to be, you're going to be in a, maybe it's better to say fist fight every week.
They have Michigan State, also notable. They have 40 missed tackles through 4 games.
They're not playing good defense.
So they're averaging 10 missed tackles a game.
Defense. Better offense.
So if I'm Dana Holgerson, like, we got to get them in space, make them miss tackles. One of their safeties, Amarian Smith, has 6 missed tackles on the year.
The issue will be, can they come into Memorial Stadium and score 24, 28 points? Can they? They put up some numbers offensively. And then you got a little pressure on you.
Yeah, I mean, I just, they're receiving.
Excuse me.
The receivers in general, like, are they going to be able to get a lot of yards after catch, the tackling? I think Nebraska will tackle better in this game on the back end.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I mean, I say everything that comes to my mind. The one thing about losing to Michigan, it does put some pressure on you now. So as a observer, I like going over to Memorial Stadium when there's some pressure because it's fun.
The Massey rating prediction has Nebraska right now 81%.
That's a high number. That's a high number to me.
They're 56% at Maryland, 54% at Minnesota.
Whew. Well, Minnesota's beat Nebraska 5 straight times.
So Nebraska's got they're picked in the Massey to win at Minnesota. They're obviously picked to beat Northwestern. They are not. They're only a 37% chance to beat USC right now.
Ooh, really?
Iowa,
Lincoln?
though,
wait a second. In Lincoln?
Yes. The Massey rankings, if it played out the way they have it, Nebraska would be 9-3.
Take it.
Everybody would take that.
Yep.
So, but as we know, it's not that simple.
No, they're gonna have to win some close games to do that.
All right. Well, you have a good weekend.
I will try.
Watch football.
I'm gonna watch a lot of football.
You gonna get wings?
I don't know if I'll get wings. Yeah, I might go get some wings. We'll see. I haven't made. I got to write today, so I haven't even thought beyond today. To be honest,
I got to get something written today too for tomorrow. But
yeah,
big first the prediction story and then some bye week stuff. But first swim meet.
Where's this at?
It's at Lincoln Southeast.
So it's another swim season.
Yeah, first they do 1 meet a month, and we had an off week in soccer. The girls play Monday night. So we got it.
When is the swim meet?
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Now what are you gonna do? Can I be able to watch football
on my phone? No, last year I did the same deal at the same meet. Last year it was Michigan USC, and I remember watching that game from my phone. But there's a lot of downtime. Like once your kid gets done swimming, you might have an hour and a half between races. Like they don't just, there's a lot of recovery time between a race.
Mm-hmm. So there'll be plenty for you to watch. Trust me.
So good football, good weather this weekend, and then we'll get back to Michigan State.
Yeah, So now wait a second. When's our next show?
We're back Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, okay. Tuesday. So next week we're back on normal schedule. Tuesday, Husker Online show. Thursday headlines, and then we'll do a Saturday postgame show.
Okay.
All right. For Steve Sipple, I'm Sean Callahan. Thanks for joining us here on Husker Online Headlines.